Alright guys, welcome back. And this one right here is a perfect example of how fast things can spiral when authority replaces logic. It starts simple enough. An auditor is peacefully filming outside a public building, doing absolutely nothing illegal. But almost instantly, officers roll up and flip the entire situation. Instead of observing and assessing, they jump straight into assumptions, claiming he matches the description of a wanted person from some vague morning briefing. No details, no clear description, no actual evidence, just a claim. And that's where the problem begins. Because the moment law enforcement starts operating on guesses instead of facts, everything that follows becomes questionable. The auditor stays calm, composed, and asks the right questions, but instead of answers, he gets pressure. And just like that, a routine interaction turns into a constitutional showdown.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
What you up to?
Can I ask you why you're engaged in it?
Stop there a minute.
Why?
I'm just trying to identify who you are because you've got your face covered and you've... what's your name, please, sir?
I don't have to give you my name.
Okay, well, at this moment in time, we believe that you might well be wanted. Okay.
So,
Well, we'll cross that bridge in a minute once we've confirmed it. So that's why we need to identify who you are. It's all right. We'll do it another way. Just bear with us a second.
You start with your first name, please, sir.
don't believe I have to provide your name.
Okay. Well, I believe that you're wanted, right? Okay. Just by your description alone, right? So I believe that you're wanted off a briefing that I've received today, right? So we can do it one of two ways.
For what?
Well, wanted for an offence.
What offence?
Well, wanted for an offence of harassment, actually. So I need to check you out in order to see A, if it is you, or B, if it isn't you, right? And if it isn't you, I'll bid you good day.
Now this is where things start getting seriously concerning. The officer pushes for identification, repeating the same line, "If it's not you, you'll be free to go." Sounds reasonable at first, right? But think about it. That flips the entire burden onto the citizen. Instead of the officer proving suspicion, the individual has to prove innocence. That's not how the law works. The auditor stands firm, refusing to provide details without lawful grounds, which is absolutely within his rights. But instead of respecting that, the officer doubles down, even throwing out a full name, Christopher Green, in public. That's a massive red flag. You're now potentially exposing someone's identity without confirmation. This isn't investigation, it's reckless policing. And at this point, it's clear this officer isn't trying to verify facts. He's trying to force compliance.
So if we start with your first name, or are we going to have to get a fingerprint scanner down here and find out who you are, or take you down to custody to try and identify you because you refuse to give me details?
I haven't committed an offence.
Okay, so if you haven't committed any offences, can I start with your first name, please, sir?
I don't need to give you my first name.
Okay, well, I believe you to be Christopher Green, and I'm detaining you currently.
I am not Christopher Green.
Right, okay, well,
that's fine,
that's fine, but you're currently being detained up until the point that I can establish who you are. You're refusing to give me some details, so I need to establish who you are.
Please ask you to identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm PC 17768 Neil Williams.
And you, please?
Sergeant 15563.
Thank you.
Right,
which
okay,
station?
So can we make
Western
it nice and easy for us and start giving just the first name, please?
Can I ask you which station you're from?
Yeah, I work at Withenshaw Police Station, work part of the X Department and part of the Transport Unit for Great Manchester Police.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
So we're going to start with your name then, please. And if there's nothing wrong...
Alright, now we're entering full control mode. The officer detains the auditor, not because of a confirmed crime, but because he believes something might be true. That's not reasonable suspicion, that's speculation. And when the auditor calmly pushes back, asking for legal grounds, the officer shifts tactics completely. Suddenly, it's about hands and pockets, safety concerns, anything to avoid answering the real question. This is classic deflection. When the legal foundation isn't there, the focus moves to anything else that sounds justifiable. But here's the reality. None of it holds up. The auditor remains calm, respectful, and consistent, while the officer becomes more rigid, more forceful, and more defensive. And that's the turning point. Because when authority starts relying on pressure instead of law, the situation is already broken.
Christopher. Green.
Okay.
100 Alpha.
And what is your name, please? And have you got anything to identify yourself?
I don't believe I have to answer these questions.
Right. You don't believe that you have to, right, okay, well, I believe you to be wanted, right? So make it easy for us, give us your details, identify yourself, show me some identification.
I don't believe I have to identify myself.
Well, you do.
We could arrest you, take you to custody and put you on a live scan machine. There's a necessity, if you're not giving your name and address, for us to verify who you are if we believe you to be wanted from the information we've got. So you can
I don't have to do that. You've not provided me with any grounds for an arrest.
Right, take your hands out your pocket so I can see them. I need to identify you. I'm trying to make it easy for you here, sir. So
I'm not in any threat to you.
No,
guys.
not at all.
No, I'm not.
You had your hands in your pockets, and I don't.
Now watch this. This is where the mask completely slips. The officer raises his voice, asserting dominance instead of law, making it clear this isn't about investigation anymore, it's about control. "I'm the police here," he says, as if that alone justifies everything happening. That moment says it all. Because when someone has to remind you of their authority instead of demonstrating it properly, they've already lost control of the situation. The auditor doesn't react emotionally. He doesn't escalate. He simply stands on his rights. And that's what makes this even more powerful. Because the louder the officer gets, the calmer the auditor remains. And that contrast exposes everything. This isn't professionalism. This is frustration, ego, and a complete misunderstanding of lawful procedure playing out in real time.
Up until the point that you identify yourself, make it easy for us, and if it isn't you, and I can establish who you are, and I can clearly identify you, then I'll send you on your way. Right, okay. But by you being obstructive at the moment...
I'm not being obstructive.
Well, you are, because you're refusing to provide some details.
No, because I don't believe lawfully that I have to give you those details because I haven't committed any offence of harassment. I'm sorry.
Right, okay. Well, I believe you to be wanted, so I want you to, I need you to identify yourself in order for me to make those inquiries. And once I make those inquiries and find out that you are either wanted or you're free to go, I will then send you on your way. Okay? Oh, no, excuse me, I'm speaking.
You've asked me whether I'm Christopher Green, and I've said I'm not Christopher Green.
Right, and all I'll say to you is, right, identify yourself, because
stop giving me orders.
I'm the police here.
Speak to me respectfully.
I have done, I've tried.
Speak to me respectfully.
What I'll say to you is, you're not going anywhere up until the point that I can clearly identify you. Okay.
Right, but please continue to speak to me respectfully. Okay.
So what's your name, please?
To speak to you always respectfully.
Your name, please.
All right, now it reaches the breaking point. The officer begins threatening escalation, custody, fingerprint scanning, dragging the process out, all because the auditor refuses to identify himself without legal obligation. That's not policing, that's intimidation. It's a tactic designed to wear someone down until they give in. But the auditor doesn't fold. He stands firm, repeating the same simple truth: no crime, no obligation. And then it happens. The arrest. No confirmed identity, no solid evidence, just assumption stacked on assumption. This is where everything collapses. Because once that arrest is made, it's no longer just a bad interaction, it becomes a legal issue. And that decision right there is what ultimately comes back to haunt them.
My name.
Right, have you got any ID on you?
I'm not. I don't have to do this.
The problem is, we suspect you of an offence.
Why do you believe that you don't have to do this?
Because I don't believe I've committed a criminal offence.
Right, okay. Well, then make it easy for me, sir, right?
I don't have to make anything easy for you.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
Why are you being so obstructive? If you're not committed any offence, we can check your details then.
I don't have to discuss anything with you.
Why are you trying to avoid it?
I'm not trying to avoid anything.
Because it's going to be a long process for you if we have to take you to custody and put you on one of them live scan machines to find out who you are.
Well,
so it sounds straightforward. If you just give us your details, we can check if you want to not. If you're not, absolutely fine, which is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not Christopher Green, and I'm saying I'm not committed to offensive harassment.
Who are you then?
I've just told you I don't believe that I have to give you that information.
And here's the payoff, because this didn't end on the street. It ended in court. The auditor takes action, teams up with legal professionals, and challenges what happened. And guess what? He wins. That's the part that matters. Because accountability doesn't always happen in the moment. Sometimes it happens after the fact, where decisions are examined under the law, not emotion. This entire situation could have been avoided with basic professionalism and understanding of rights. Instead, it turned into a lawsuit, wasted resources, and a public example of what not to do. So take this as a lesson. Knowing your rights isn't just important, it's necessary. Because when authority steps outside the law, the only thing that brings it back is accountability. And in this case, accountability hit hard.
Then I can give it to your desk
Can you start
sergeant,
by
or I can give
removing
it to
your
a
face
judge.
covering, please, so I can see exactly who you are?
No.
Right, I'm going to let go of your arm now, yeah? Okay. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be putting your hands in your pockets.
Promise
Right?
you I won't do that.
Okay, because I need to be
Promise you I won't
satisfied
do
that
that.
you've
I'm
not
not
got
gonna do
something
that.
that can harm me or anyone else.
I promise you there's nothing in my
Right, okay.
pockets that could harm you.
It is, isn't it? Boss. Boss.
Trying to go and have a look at that picture upstairs.
So guys, it looks like I'm going to be arrested here. Could you just turn this off?
Right, you're under arrest.